Hey, hello, and welcome everyone to our channel TIOP, where we delve into the world of technology. And for today's podcast, we have someone truly special on the show, Sam Velu. If you know Sam, you know he's not just a brilliant mind in IT staffing and AI automation, but also one of the most cheerful, energetic, and fun people to be. With decades of experience in recruitment and talent strategy, he has seen the industry evolve and is now leading the charge in AI driven transformation. Whether it's optimizing talent strategies or helping business unlock the power of AI, Sam brings a unique blend of expertise, humor, and passion to the table. Hi, Sam. It's a pleasure to have you here. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Neha, for giving me this opportunity and appreciate your time and your expertise this morning.
Pleasure is all ours. So, Sam, before delving into the topic and talking about at length about staffing and recruitment, it'll be great if you can let us know a little bit about your journey in staffing. Like, what were the key defining moments for you, lessons which you have learned along the way?
Great question. Where do I start? I came here to the US to do my master's and then
Mhm.
did programming for a year and a half and accidentally fell into recruiting. I was on the
Oh,
bench
okay.
and I went to my owner and said, I want to be a recruiter. He said, yeah, you can, but your salary will be slashed by two-thirds and you can do it. And I started that career in 1995 as a recruiter. Had a great journey. Um, all these 20, 30 plus years, I've never felt like, what am I doing? I always enjoyed working in the recruiting industry. Um, Above and beyond that, I'm also a technologist since I had some programming background and my
Yes.
engineering background. So I
Mm.
always love technology and how to use technology for recruiting. So most of the tools that came in the market, I'm an early adapter to those tools. I play around with it. If I like it, I probably, if you look at my LinkedIn profile, I probably are one of the first 1,000 people who signed up.
Okay.
Similarly on Twitter. So I do like to play with tools and technology. And what better time now at
Yes.
pivot point to be in the technology space and marry recruiting and technology. At the end of the day, technology is just a tool in your cure, right? At the end of the day, it is about people, relationships, and how you build those things. That's
True, true.
how,
So true.
yeah,
So true. So,
that's my
Sam, since you
journey in
mentioned
recruiting.
yes, yes, that's your journey in recruiting. So, Sam, since you have mentioned that you were working in technology field and you have changed your job into recruitment. I mean, can you share an experience that really changed your perspective on recruitment?
Let's see, it's a great and interesting question. If you look at it, um, when I started recruiting, I was given a phone book and told to make phone calls.
Yes,
There was
it's
no
back in
job boards.
1995 era.
There was
Mm,
no job boards, and I'm not sure you probably are older, much older than me. I'm only 7 years old, so
no,
so
age is just a number.
you may not remember the cell phones, which were like a brick, or the fax resumes that came into our offices. Right?
So I mean, I would say facts I don't remember much, but cell phones like brick, I can say that a little.
You
I
probably
mean,
saw it in movies where they're like a
yes,
walkie-talkie.
yes.
So I used to carry that phone once it came in. I still remember the
Okay.
model Motorola something. But at the end of the day, it was all about how do you connect with people? What are you doing for them to help them in their career to get what they want to get? And even when I'm a recruiter, even now, I don't talk about a resume or I don't look at a resume. I talk to people to help them with their careers. Sometimes you may not be a good fit now, but you might be a good fit down the line. I always,
Mm.
early when I started this career, I had a mentor who told me that, hey, you do not know the next resume that comes in will be your $20,000 fee resume. So treat everybody equally and fair. Don't bring your
Sure.
past experiences into those aspects of recruiting. Yeah, somebody didn't take a job, the offer was pulled out. All those things happen in recruiting, which is part and parcel of your day-to-day routine. Somebody doesn't show up for interview, and nowadays it's a lot more. But at the end of the day, the
Yes.
technology and things are. I think recruiting was much easier 25 plus years back than what it is today. Today's recruiters' jobs are a lot more tougher because they have to sift through so many resumes, so many unqualified people applying for jobs just by keyword searches, those type of things. So the recruiter is not only a recruiter, but he's also in the talent acquisition. You also need to be an investigator to make sure that the person is a right fit for the company that you're hiring for, and whether that person will have a long-term relationship or this one with the company that we place those. Mostly my career has been in the contingency workforce. I've worked for agencies most of my
Okay.
life. One of the things before I retire, I want to go work for a corporate company. I'm not sure when. That's one of the things that is on my bucket list I have to check off before I hang up my boots.
Mm. So, I mean, definitely your thing, I mean, your bucket list really gets checked out. You have that tendency, and you are kind of a person that does that. So, Sam, as you mentioned, no, I mean, the technology is into the recruitment, and since AI is also into the recruitment, you know, and now resumes, I don't think resumes does hold a lot of value. Because all the resumes are being checked by AIs. The ATC is there, or AT system is there, which does only check the keywords. So, I mean, do you think actual human value or actual, I mean, in terms of technology and AI and everything, the resume does hold any value in the current market?
It does
Human
hold
made resume,
because
basically.
if I have a different opinion about it, because I tell my recruiters I don't look at a resume, I look at a resume from a different perspective. I don't look at a resume
Mm.
from a resume. But I'm in minority. To change the thoughts and processes of all the HR and recruiters is a different ballgame. I know AI is going to be playing a revolutionary part in the staffing processes and automations, including predictive analytics and those type of things in the workforce planning and enhancing candidate experience through AI-powered interactions, right? But at the end of the
Yes.
day, AI is just a tool, and if the candidates are going to be using AI to make sure that their resume is ATS ready,
Hmm.
which is what technology does. I'll give you a funny story. A lot of people may not know this. Even before AI, there was the ATSs which were scanning those resumes, right? And when they
Mm.
scan the resumes, if they don't find the keywords, your resume is not shortlisted. So
True.
I have candidates who did something called whitening. I'm not sure if you know what that concept.
Oh, uh-huh.
They take all the keywords, dump it into a resume, and do not and make it white. So when to human naked eye, you won't be able to see what they put the keywords in. But for a machine, because it doesn't know the things, it will pick up even the hidden text.
That's oh great.
So those were techniques that people used long before AI, right?
AI.
It is one
Mm.
part of those things. But at the end of the day, everybody is going to be using the tool to optimize and to increase their productivity and get the work-life balance that everybody's craving for. So technology is just a tool, in my opinion. At the end of the day, technology should be used to enhance your productivity, make you operationally efficient, and help you to, yeah, is it humanly possible for me if I post a Java job, I get 300 responses in the next 15 minutes? And
Yes.
I have done this experiment before in one of the other podcasts. I've posted a job literally, and after 30 minutes, because there was a unique ID, I took the unique ID, put it in the email. Then they saw that there were 300 responses that came in the last 30 minutes. Like, is it humanly possible for me to look at that 300 resumes? Absolutely not. Because I work for an agency and time is of the essence. and
Yes.
sometimes speed does matter. Uh,
Matter.
yeah. So if you submit a resume within 4 hours to 6 hours, your chances of getting an interview is increased by 67%. If you submit after
That's a
two
note.
years, it decreases to in the upper teens, like 15, 18%, right? And
Mm.
recruiters and the HR people look at a resume. If I tell you this, you might not like it, because a lot of people, job seekers, spend a lot of time beautying their resume,
Their resumes. Yes.
they're making it perfect. But a recruiter looks at a resume less than 7 seconds. That's not me telling. It's the Wall Street Journal telling that that's what
Yes.
every person. If you can't grab the attention of the recruiter in the first 6 to 8 seconds, you are not going to get your resume shortlisted. Is it fair, unfair?
True.
I'm not the judge of that, but that's what the profession has taught everybody. And so to change that, it takes a lot of time for the old school. Uh, in recruiting, people have been taught what they've been taught, and they know what they do. There are only few percentage of people who do a little bit different and a little bit wider,
Yeah.
but 98% of the industry follows the herd type of mentality that everybody does this, so I'm going to do this, right? So resumes are still going to play a part. A couple of years back, video resumes came, it didn't take off, and now we recruit in the IT space. In that space, I can tell you that most of the people use LinkedIn and other avenues too.
Yes.
I'll tell you another statistics. LinkedIn has about 45%, is what I heard last time, fake
Okay.
profiles in there,
True.
right?
I was
So,
about to come there
yeah. So resumes will
because
be a part for the next few years, until the thought process and the mindset changes, right? And
mm,
look at the generational gap, Gen Z versus Gen X versus Gen baby boomers versus all those other denominations that you talk about. Everybody has nowadays kids coming out of college, they know exactly what they want to do, right? As old school employers, we are hard and fast in what we think we should hire, but they want work-life
mm,
balance, they want flexibility. And I know the hybrid work is now the fashion. And in another few
yes,
months, I think everybody is going to come back to work. That will become another. And COVID taught us good and bad
a
lessons,
lot of
right?
things. Yes. Yes.
So, so
So
resumes will still be a tool that can be used, but if you
mm,
are a recruiter or if you are somebody like me, I don't use the resume. I use the resume to have a conversation with you. Every
okay.
time I talk to a candidate, it is a conversation between me and him to find out whether he or she fits into some of the roles that I'm recruiting for the clients that I represent. Right.
No, it is. I mean, sometimes even when I was actually looking for a job, but people were, I mean, I was in the job seeking market. There was time when many times people don't look at your resume directly. In fact, the hiring manager who is sitting in front of you would look at your resume at the end point and just, he'll be saying like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't go through your resume, so I'll just quickly have a look and you'll ask the question." So before doing that, while I'm looking at your resume, why don't you walk me through what you have done or what your journey was? Kind of that.
Yeah, it is true. A
So
lot of
that was
people don't even
doing
look
so.
at the resume, um,
Yes.
and
But
I don't look at a
still, I
resume
mean, as
for.
you said,
Go ahead.
the resume holds some value, right? I mean,
Yeah.
still we are looking at resumes to shortlist people so that for them to reach to the first round of interview as well, their resume does need to stand out. But as you have mentioned, the key point over here is whenever you see a job, apply within first few hours, 4 to 5 hours, so that your chances of getting selected goes high, right?
I also
Because
like
in the AI
proactive job
market,
seekers. I also like
yes,
proactive job seekers who call, and there are so many tools and things available nowadays for you to find who the recruiter is, who the company is. You can do so much more research on the company. In olden days, I had to go meet people in person, right? I have to shake hands.
yes,
Nowadays, you don't need. Before I pick up the call, the candidate can look me up on LinkedIn, look me up on my all my social profile, Facebook, Twitter, again, Meta, X, whatever, Insta. Um, so I always tell people I keep my professional things on LinkedIn and my personal things on Facebook. I want people to
social
know
media,
that
yes.
I'm a human being, right? I'm not an
True.
AI generated uh, thing, which in few years will come. Already, a lot of conversational AI and bots are having conversations with in the recruiting field,
Yes.
as well as the day-to-day field, banking and other things that customer service, Flipkart, Amazon, all these things have all these bots that are already having conversations with,
Yes.
and they're having good conversations, not just okay.
Normal conversations.
Yeah. So conversational
Yes.
AI is a tool that people have started to use a little bit more, and the world is moving to an agentic AI. Yes, it is part of Gen AI, but at the end of the day, multiple tools and technologies and processes incorporated, and an agent doing the work of five people, right? Or five processes being
Yes.
put together is what the new thing is. And I'm not sure where this is going to lead to, but if you're not using AI, anybody who's using AI will replace you. I know there
True.
is that
So true.
white elephant in the room that people are scared that AI is going to take the job. It's like any
True.
generation, industrial revolution, any of those things you take in the past. It's now human versus the machine. And at the end of the day, humans are always going to be innovative and this one. And we are the ones who created those things. So I'm sure we will, when the challenges rise, we all will rise to the occasion and we'll be able to do more. Yeah, but machines are getting there.
Yes. No, it's so true that you have said that machines are getting there. I mean, some in some other way, technology will get a place where humans are, but definitely not ahead of us because we are the creators. We have created them for our use to let's see our work and make our life a little bit easier. But definitely, the key point over here is if you're a candidate, if you're a job seeker, even if you are a recruiter, please use technology to your value to your it so that you can stand out, not the other way around, right? This is
Yeah,
lesson to the job seekers.
yeah, I'll give you an example. I use a lot of tools and technologies. I have about 400 extensions when I was recruiting
Yes.
long before AI came into
Oh,
play.
oh,
Right
okay.
now, AI has come and I use a lot of the AI tools to answer the emails, to do my LinkedIn posts, some of those things which are mundane tasks that I don't need to be involved in,
Mm-hmm.
and where the automation of automation is already taking place.
Taking.
And there are
Mm.
some tools that have come in, compose.ai, magical.ai, and those type of things which you can use. Merlin, there's so many tools available nowadays. So I'll give you a landscape. A year and a half ago, when everybody was on this AI journey, until ChatGPT came, that didn't explode, right? People were doing. If you have to take my thesis in my master's was fuzzy logic, and that's, I'm talking about 30 years ago, right, in 1990. But that is a part of AI algorithms and those type of things that are developed and randomly come. And whatever we thought we saw in movies is going to be
Mm-hmm.
real very soon. Flying cars. I
Yes.
saw somebody, there is already a flying car tested out or something.
Yes.
Whatever
In
we
Dubai,
thought
yes.
in movies is already here. And the self-driving autonomous cars, the things. The only thing I will always tell people is when you were young, if you remember going to your grandma's house, they will still do cooking on the outside with a firewood, right? Or charcoal.
Yes.
Nowadays, induction oven, air fryers, microwaves. Why are you using it? It's because we say we don't have time,
Fine.
yeah. But
Even people don't even try to use the lighters. I mean, you have the automatic this gas thing, which where
yeah,
you just switch on the knob and it'll light
and
away. So
the ignition
I
is
mean, people are
automatic. The
yes,
Yeah. So that's what, again, people talk about AI like it is. But if you were using GPS and other things before, you were already part of some of the automation and other things
automation. Yes,
nowadays people can't remember the phone numbers of their wife, kids, and their parents because it's auto dial. Right? You somebody calls you back, you just hit redial. You look at the name dial, so you don't know the phone numbers. When I was a recruiter, I
I mean,
could tell, I could,
this is true.
yeah, and then you can't even know. We are all slave to the technology, right? We don't know to go to a
Yes.
neighborhood store. So I was a newspaper delivery boy. I delivered pizzas when I was going to school. At that time, there
Oh,
was no GPSs, right? I had
yes.
to find my own way, and
Remember.
they
Mm.
remember, and they used to be given a map. I used to go to American Automobile Association and get the map, and with the highlighter map where we need to go and which exit and all those things. Nowadays, it's right in. Even when I started in recruiting, I used to print out the Yahoo directions and send it to people and tell them. And but there was no GPS. You have to print it out, look at, and then navigate your way through. So
I mean, we have came a long, long way, I would say. Now it's all just one touch away, I would say. One touch away, one CD away, or one
yeah,
Google away. That's good. So, you know, Sam, since you have talked about all the things, I mean, technology and everything. So, in what situations do you see like human expertise is indispensable when it comes to recruitment?
absolutely. Humans are not going to go away. Machines are not there to emote and do any of those things. I know you, if you watched the Robo movie, the robot marrying, I'm sure that will be a time in the next 50 or 60 years. Again, all the hoopla about DeepSeek and the computing power and the myth that people had, it's all going to be broken up. But at the end of the day, it comes down to people and how they build the relationships and how they take the data that is
Mm,
much available today, and how do you decipher the data and make the decisions based on the data, right? At the end of the day, the data architecture, which is the underlying fact, is what is going to drive any organizations. And if you look at the iterations of the AI, they say AI can become an organization in the next, the fourth
yes,
or fifth iteration of AI. They are talking about AI can become the company, and it can do the HR,
yes,
accounting, and all those things. And we are few years away from that, but at the same time, I would tell everybody who's listening to adapt to technology. I still
true.
remember a day in 2008 when the US market took a bloodbath, where a lot of companies like Lehman Brothers, AIG, and all went out of business overnight, and people were on the streets, and that was a very dark time in the US. 2008-9, the market took a
Yes,
deep cut, and there were a lot of, and people were not used to LinkedIn and those type of things at that point, and people were already
yeah,
scared to use those things, and people who've been working in jobs for 20 years, 25 years, 30 years lost their jobs, and they didn't know what hit them. And then there was that offshoring which happened during the same time frame, and things. So I do remember talking to a lot of people at that time. The older age group, what I found was they were averse of technology. They were afraid of technology.
yes,
And I still have friends who have flip phones. They don't have the smartphones yet, because they're afraid of privacy and other things.
technology. Mm,
Privacy is going to be a big thing. There will be some rules and regulations. The data privacy concerns
yes,
and the compliances will be a big part in how people use this. Always there will be bad actors, in irrespective of technology that you use. But at the end of the day, I think technology does a lot more good than bad. And
yes,
as a recruiter, I've always adapted to new tools and technologies. I jokingly tell people that if I have to go do something, I ask ChatGPT, even if I know I can do it well.
well,
And
yes,
I'm pleasantly surprised sometimes. It gives me some things that I may not have even thought about, right? And it's like in that pizza pie circle, we only know this much of what we know.
this much, yes, true, so
The
true.
rest of it is we do
There
not know
is.
what we do not know, right? And that is a big shift of for people and adapting to AI. And the scary part is AI is changing so rapidly. So any innovation that took place
It's learning.
between
Mm,
1900 to 2000 and 2000 to 2022 with the iPhone and disruption, everything was AI. now everything is going to be AI, right?
AI.
And it's changing rapidly.
Yes, it is. I mean, I remember it's a few months back only we were talking about how AI is going to take jobs and everything, and some people were saying, no, 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 there's no way. I think still there's far wait for them to go, and AI does not do this, does not do that. Then quickly one morning we have AI agents
Yeah,
who can do a lot of work for you. Then again, one day you open your eye and you see DeepSeek in the market and it's beating ChatGPT. Then again, some other day you see something new,
yeah,
automation. A lot of things are going in the market. So
yeah.
definitely the change is too big, but yes, everyone out there has to adapt it. Be it job seeker, be it normal people, be it recruiter, or any other organization. You have to
So
adapt as for the technology.
I tell
That's the
that to
one
job
thing.
seekers, and I tell that to organization which adapt to AI and are upskilling and reskilling their workforce. What companies can do to make AI-driven hiring decisions more transparent and more candidate friendly, they will do better. And a lot of the HR
Yes.
onboarding processes.
Hmm.
And again, if you look at it with tools and technologies and Taleo and SAP and Workforce and Workday and all those
Hmm.
things that you look at, those are just tools to help companies to get to where they need to get on scale,
Need to be
right?
okay.
And AI
True.
is going to be something that. So, what are the new skills that a job seeker or a recruiter needs to learn and things? It could be different every day. Anything that you think it's a mundane task that can be done by a machine, I think will be done by the machine, which is
Machine.
sourcing, which is getting the top three candidates narrowed down from the resumes, and they might be doing much faster, quicker than a human eye can do. Within 3 seconds, I might be able to get the top three candidates in my database who might be fitting for this job. One of the things that has not changed with AI also is the job description. The job description is still 100 years old, and that is the fancy of each hiring manager. If me and you are creating a job description for a role that we both agree that is the same title, like the marketing manager, the way you
Hmm.
write the job description and the way you think you need few things is going to be different than what I
Different.
write, right?
Yes.
And that is the one part of commonality which is not, even with AI, they're not able to narrow that gap down. I say the olden days where we used to advertise jobs on the newspapers, it was limited because we didn't have space because we have to
Space. Yes.
pay for the
It
space.
was paper space. Yes.
So we kept it very tight and very
Concise.
concise so that
Crisp.
you could find the right. Nowadays, it's like a Bible or a Ramayana or a
Yes.
Gita or a Quran. Every job description is 4 pages long, right? They want
Oh,
everything and anything. So sometimes when I talk to the hiring manager, I ask them, what are the top 5 skills that you required in this job, and who will be successful in this role? Give me the soft skills that you require, and then we can go back to work and then see who we can get, right? So that would be.
mm,
So the
okay.
AI-powered
That's great.
hiring landscape is going to change every
Yes.
3 months, 6 months. So it is a race, and somebody comes like you mentioned, deep sea and all those things. Somebody comes with a new toy, so everybody runs after that, and then
After that,
right, and that may not serve the purpose for what you need to do. Yeah, you
need
can
to.
play around with it, but you don't. For a small company like us, we don't have unlimited budgets, right? So I have to be very prudent and very cost conscious on what I use. So that's why I like a lot of the freemiums that I subscribe to, where you can get some
Okay.
free, and then you might have you like it, then you can go and pay for it, or you find similar tools which are freemiums, and you can get 5 6 tools and use it and get by not subscribing to any of those things.
Sam, when it comes to like AI and the hiring and everything, I have seen companies doing the video interview analysis using AI. So, how accurate is it at assessing a candidate through personality and skills? Because that it'll ask very limited questions, or like a robotic kind of questions. So
Great
can you tell
question.
me how accurate is it?
Great question, because I have some experience in that interview as service
Okay.
space, because I did work for a company called eTechie, and I served on their
Mm-hmm.
board. We do interviews for bigger clients. And what can AI can do? There is two different distinctions, right? AI is a lot of people are trying to filter that 300 resumes to the 50 or 60 that they can talk to. So they can use
Yes.
an AI assessment, which can at
Mm-hmm.
least give them a benchmark. Okay, these people have done well, and this, and I will tell you, even doing video interviews, a lot of companies facing challenges, which including eTechie, is there are a lot of co-pilots that have come in the market to help the candidates take interviews.
Interviews. Yes.
Final round interview.ai is one tool that I know, which helps you. You feed the job description, you feed the resume, and it will customize the answers according to, oh, when I was working at Amazon, when I was working at eTechie, when I was working at, and it will give you those answers. So the interviewer also will think, oh wow, this candidate, it's not. And so they're learning how to do teleprompting, and some of the teleprompting nowadays with the AI tools, you don't even need to do the teleprompting. It will adjust your eye movements, it will adjust
High
your,
movements. Yes.
and
Yes.
you can have another. So every candidate will become a political candidate. So they don't need to give the speeches, right? They can look at the teleprompter. So we are making a lot of politicians in the world to teach how to read a teleprompter. Um, but at the end of the day, it is a journey that um, like always, the cops are two steps behind the thieves, right? Um, the technology will bring a lot of bad actors and bad people use tools used badly by the people, right? At the end of the day, it is people who are using those,
Yes.
and it's people who make the system break and system and
Make
con the system. It's not the AI. AI has the right intentions. It is how we use it and what we do. You can use that to your advantage by helping you to prepare for the interview. One of the things you mentioned is personality, right?
right.
Yeah, they are tools out there, note taking tools that can look at your sentiment analysis. Like it will tell you how many filler words you used during that interview and those type of things.
Okay.
I use a tool
Okay.
called Humantic. Before that, I used to use a tool called Crystal Nose. Um,
Christian, yes, I have used
yeah,
that as well. Yes.
it is. I use it with candidates and hiring managers because it gives me a generic idea of their disc personality, and um, people are broken down into four major disc personality: DISC, and D has a different characteristics, I has a different character, S and C has a different characteristic, and I'm a DSC or a DSNI. So my personality morphs into a few of those other things, but some like short emails, long emails. So it will help me to say, oh no, Neha likes short emails, right? And I don't need to spend time writing long emails to you, which I
Long.
know you will
Mm.
not like. So those are some of the things that the tools can help you. It is, yes, but at the end of the day, yeah, the conversational AI bots are having conversation, but at the end of the day, I can tell whether you are enthusiastic, you are not enthusiastic. I can ask the questions. When you give me a certain answer, I know that certain answer is not the right answer. I can ask two or three follow-up questions to get that right answer, and see whether you're a good fit for the organization or not. So the human
Or
relationship,
not.
human conversations are still going to be a big part of the thing.
Right. True,
So
true,
one of
true.
the
So,
things I would say on the hiring is people first hiring is non-negotiable, right? It has to be,
yes.
right?
I mean,
And
there are organizations who still gives value to this one, but now since as we have said, people are using AI and people are using AI to cheat and AI to do different other matters. So there are organizations out there who are like, let's take the one who are good because not everyone can judge or not everyone is very good at making things out or like pinpointing what is going wrong with this video. Some people are so clever, you'll not even be able to make out that this person is cheating or this person is doing some video editing or whatever the thing is. Right.
Yeah, so that
So,
the technology should enhance, not replace the human element, and
yes.
data-driven decision making is going to be more effective. Then, if you really look at hiring, it's more like a gut feel, right? I like the way you look. I like the way you answered the question. I like the way like
Yes.
you are like me, and that's where a lot of the hiring decisions are made, and a lot of the
Decisions are
hiring
happening. Yes.
managers are not. So sometimes, yeah, can the AI have a bias? Absolutely, because it's a trained element of it. What is trained on is what it is. Like if I tell my dog to go bite somebody, if he comes into my house, the dog is going to go do it. And that's what we have done to the LLMs. We are training them, right? At the end of the day, it is what we train. And some LLMs are good and some LLMs are bad with hallucinations and other things that you talk about.
Yes.
But at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, it
True.
is just some data-driven decisions making it more effective, and then rather than a gut feel that people talk about when they hire, right?
The tools which you're using, do you think, I mean, not at this point of time, but definitely, you know, in human, it is a tendency to have some biases, as you have mentioned, right? Do you
Yeah,
think that these tools will also have biases? And if yes, then how do you think, I mean, then the recruitment or the thing which on which hiring is going on? For example, some companies, let's take an example, like some companies only hire boys, like they don't want girls to be in the market. Or some companies have such, let's say, I want people from this race or this ethnicity only and only. I don't want people from some other background.
so you hit upon a lot of things there. I'll just break.
Mhm.
Companies don't want to hire women. There are a lot of companies out there. There are n million reasons why they don't want to hire. I have a
Yes.
team. I have everybody is a woman except for two men in my team, right? I have that, and I do like women because they go and do. In some cases, yes, the old school thought of they can make decisions, they can do. They are more emotional, so they won't be able to make the right decisions. All the myths, that things that you hear in that, some of them might be true, right? And it could be the personality
Right.
of the person. Uh,
Yes.
and there is in US there is age based discrimination. People who are 50,
Mm.
they want to hire, they want to hire. So I always tell people, when I have another conference on the 14th, a webinar on the 14th, and I can tell the constituents there, 60 to 80% of the people will be over 50 years of age, right? Who have lost their jobs and they're trying to find jobs and they're trying to see
Jobs.
how
Mm-hmm.
AI can help them and stuff like that. But I always tell them at the end of the day, when you get an interview, it is your job. You see all these white hairs, that is has to have some value in the experience. And you should also show the new hiring manager that you are not just old school. You are learning new technologies and you're adapting to the change, right? You adapted to using GPS, right? It is the same way. And people are looking to marry that experience with the knowledge of how to use some of the tools and how you can make those tools efficient in your overall function to be more productive. At the end of the day, people are looking for employees who are more productive, uh, less
True.
cost, process, and all
Mm.
those things. And these tools can help, and that's something that you should be able to. And you should. One of the things that people probably will take time to adapt is the change of pace that this technology is changing, and what you should learn and what you should not learn. What you learned 6 months ago may not be useful. Like before a year ago, everybody was looking for prompt engineers. Like now they're tools, and in the US they were paying $350,000 for fresh graduates, 350K,
Yes.
400K.
Yes.
Now, in the past few months, I've seen those jobs disappear because ChatGPT or Perplexity or Claude or Gemini or DeepSeek or any of these things are or their tools are co-pilots that have already come that will tell you how to write the prompts. You don't need to know how to
Like,
write.
yes. Yes.
So the prompt engineering is gone, right? So a lot of the problems which came, AI itself is solving it, right? So how you adapt to the iteration of that and how you are going to use it to your advantage is the bigger uh, differentiation for people, in my opinion. So you should be
Mm.
upskilling, reskilling, spend at least 15 minutes to 30 minutes a day, and that will become paramount for you going forward, right? It is not going
Forward.
to be,
Yes.
it is not going to be, you know what, I went to, got a degree.
Hmm.
You don't need to code anymore. In the next few weeks, months, you will see that nobody needs to code. The coding will be
Good.
done. Code, low code will be paramount, right? So those type of things. Yeah.
True, 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 true. No, there is, there is. So, when it comes to like hiring, since we have already talked about the biases and everything, so how do you think, how can AI actually help companies in hiring for the cultural fit while still promoting the diversity and inclusion?
I'm in a very um, funny times in the U.S. because with the new administration, the DEI initiatives are going to be gutted out. Last few years, it was DEI, DEI, DEI. Every company was talking about it. Whether they really understood the meaning of it, I'm not sure.
Meaning of it? Hmm.
And it was a buzzword that they all uh, thought it makes more corporate sense if you use that word and do it. I've been in a lot of conferences when I speak to a lot of them. They really don't have a clue about, yeah, because as a corporate company, they have to do some of those things. They have done it. Can a company find a cultural fit of a candidate? It is interesting
Using
question.
AI.
Yeah, it is. It is an interesting question. I think it will come in due course, but it is not there yet, right?
Okay.
Because because every company thinks they are great.
True,
Nobody is going to
true.
admit that they are bad.
Not good. Yes.
So they are going to train all the AI models with that notion. So you are training it wrong, right? And because you are
Hmm.
not being truthful, if you have issues, so one of the things that we as an organization have been talking about, and culture is very close to my heart, and it is one of the things that I look for in companies, and I try to um, incorporate within the teams that I interact with, is I don't, in my interviews, I tell people, don't call me sir. If you
Oh.
call me sir, I don't like the hierarchy part of it.
Hmm.
That's me, right?
Okay.
I treat everybody the same. I don't look at you from the perspective of the title. I look at you, you're here to fill a gap in what we are trying to do. And each of you have a role to play, and how do you fit into it? And while we are working and doing 12 to 14 hours a day at work, how can I make it more fun and enjoyable? And play hard,
Nice.
work hard is one of my things, and have fun while you're doing it. So culture is a big part of it, and I can tell you, just being in the offices recently in India, um, there is a different level of, when I walk into the office, I say hello, hi, bye. I'm very loud. I wear wigs and things on the meetings. I try to, right? I have an energy that I bring to the office when I go into the office, and sometimes it's infectious. People gravitate
Like
towards
it.
those things.
Hmm.
And the one thing, again, it goes back to my first mentor that I had 25 years ago. He said, the one thing you control is a passion. So when I answer my phone call, whether at 6 a.m. in the morning or 1 a.m. in the morning, my tone
It's
and
the same.
tonality is the same. And when I greet you, I'll say, "Hey, Neha, how are you?" What it is, whether I got up from the sleep and if I got up from the sleep, I make sure that I stood up when I answered the phone call. So I do remember that very well. Saying the passion is the one that you control. The rest of it is
It's the same.
yeah. So culture is very, very important. But can the AI do a job? Not, in my opinion, not
Now.
because of a lot of the biases that people have fed it, because everybody
Mm,
thinks that they are great, and then that's the training that they're doing. Until unless somebody says, okay, these are the problems that my organization has. What can I do? How can I? And that part of it, I'm not sure if a lot of organizations can do that at this point. Eventually, they will
okay.
do that training and.
But not now, I'm just saying, right? So, Sam, looking ahead like 5 years from now, this is like a recruitment kind of question. Where do you see 5 years from now? So, looking ahead like 5 years from now, what do you envision AI powered recruitment will look like?
I'm scared to even look 5 years ahead because I don't know
Ah,
what is going to come in 6 months and a year. To be
so
honest,
true.
it is a challenging time and it is scary at the same time, right? Because all of us are not sure where this is going.
Where this is going on. Hmm.
Organizations, individuals, we're all trying to catch up to it, right? Or some are catching up to it, some are somewhere in middle, and some are nothing is going to change. And I have some news for that last segment of population. Everything is going to change, right? And to look ahead
Hmm.
in the 6 years, 5 years ahead is a scary thought, and what this can do for me, right? If I have to take one small example, my recruiters talk to candidates an average of 2.5 minutes. That is a lot.
Okay.
There is a tool out there which claims to talk 21 minutes with a candidate. It's a bot. It's a virtual recruiter. It will not only talk to the candidates, it will transcribe the notes and put it into the ATS that I'm using. I can't have my recruiters put notes. When I ask them to put notes, yeah, the candidate was good. Why he was good, why he was not good, why it is something that you have um, to know and do, right. But that's not how things are. They don't put the AI will hunt you down on LinkedIn, text message, Facebook, Twitter, whatever is in that ATS with all those social profiles that you are on. It will hunt you down in those places. So it will send a text message, it will send a LinkedIn message, it will send a Facebook message. It will do all those things and get hold of the candidate. Which my
Yes.
sometimes I tell my recruiter, hey, did you call the candidate? And he says, oh, I forgot. I will call them now. Right? I don't
Hmm.
have to remind this AI tool to call, and it's making 300 phone calls a day.
A day.
Right? So that itself is scary to me. And I always tell people when I start recruiting, I can still remember days that I did 200 to 250 phone calls because we are calling from the phone book. Like nowadays, my recruiters make 50, 60, 70 phone calls in a week, or 150. So that's a drastic. And if that machine, if that AI tool can make 300 phone calls, that means it's reaching more candidates, it's having more meaningful conversations. And so the operational efficiency is a lot higher. And I'm scared to look 6 years ahead now, or 5 years ahead. to, uh, I tell people take 3 months at a time. Uh, that's the advice I give people.
Okay.
Just think about what's happening in this 3 months, and then we can block off the next 3 months later.
Take one step at a time. Yeah. No, you said so true. I mean, I would also not say in the coming future, like one year, I will not be able to predict what will happen with AI and with the current market. In fact, job market or any other market. Within the coming 1 or 2 years, we will not be able to say what will actually be happening. So, Sam, this is one question for you. Like,
Sure.
okay, let's say you would have your date of birth is like shipped from 1995, like you joined the organization. So you are now a Gen Z or Gen Alpha or Gen, in fact, millennial as well. In the current marketing, I mean, in the current job scenarios, taking the current recruitment job, imagine you with job hunting today. What would you prefer? Would you prefer an interview with an AI or would you prefer an interview with a real person? And if a real person, then why? Or if AI, then why?
I would do a hybrid. That's the
Okay.
easiest answer. But at the end of the day, in some of the cases, we have to use AI to shortlist some candidates, and then
Yes.
we will have to do a human uh,
Interview.
evaluation and interview.
Hmm.
And again, it's going to become scary because the candidates are all going to use AI to do their resumes. Do I know this resume is true? Do I know that they can take a JD and put it in ChatGPT and tell AI to write a resume for them? And it will customize the resume with the keywords in the job,
Events. Hmm.
and it will be a good fit because my AI machine will pick that candidate up because it matches a lot of the keywords that the company is looking for. But at the end of the day, I have to make sure and validate. I remember one of the sales trainers that I used to work with, he always used to say, trust everybody but verify. That is going to be a mantra going forward in the AI world.
Yeah.
Do I trust everything? So look at the voice messages you're getting. It's like Trump is calling you, or your wife is calling you and asking for it is exactly her voice. She's asking. She forgot the PIN number for the ATM, and
ATM. Yes.
and
Thoughts.
so look at all the frauds that are happening, right? So that
True.
that is something that you it's a combination of both, in my opinion. Again, none of the technology is there yet. In some of the cases, all the mundane tasks. So if I'm doing 15 tasks as a recruiter, maybe 6 to 9 tasks I can automate, and it can do better than I can do. But interviewing a candidate, do I know the emotional shift that you're having? Whether you're smiling, you're not smiling, whether you're going through a difficult, whether you had a bad experience at your last employer and you're trying to get away with it, or you're going through some personal turmoil. And AI cannot pick any of those things up yet. I still
True.
need a human being to call that and have the interview and see the enthusiasm and those things. I can fake some of those things, but at the end of the day, I have to verify, and for that, a human is absolutely needed. So a lot of the time we
True.
spend doing mundane tasks will be given back to us. What are we going to do with that? Now it is understanding the people, having good communication skills, good presentation skills, and some of the soft skills will play a major role in each of the person's lives going forward, at least in the recruiting world, right, or the sales world. So that becomes paramount. How do you take data that is given from multiple sources and
Multiple
you
sources.
can decipher that and make a decision, right? So
Hmm. Nice. Oh, true. Agree. I agree. If I would have to give an interview, first I would like to try avoid AI altogether because I do like the personal communication and that thing. But even if there is an AI, since nowadays I cannot avoid it, I would say hybrid. That would be the best option.
so
Choose my profile on the base of ATS system.
yeah, I'll give you an example. When I was a recruiter, LinkedIn was a big tool that I used more than the job boards, right? LinkedIn came up with something, predictive analytics. If I'm changing jobs at that time, I will be going and seeking a lot more recommendations from my peer group. And if somebody is taking recommendations in bunch, that means that person is ready to transition. He's ready, he's looking for a job.
Job.
Yeah. So it gave me things like Neha has been seeking recommendations. She might be a right candidate for a change. It gave me that level of sentiments long before AI did, right? And if I use that, and if I use those same algorithms that they built, and I looked at it, and I can build and look at profiles, I can call some of those candidates myself after I look at profiles, what changes they have made, when they made a change. So if you're looking for a job, you would have gone on the job board, Naukri, and other things, and made changes on your resume, right? And I just, as a recruiter, the simplest trick is, when did you update your resume last? If you updated a year ago, yeah, and I would call. So I'm in the financial market in New York, New Jersey. That's where I recruited most of my career. I know between January and March, I have I have to date so many candidates just because I know that when their bonuses come, if they're not happy with their bonuses, they're going to leave their jobs.
Do jobs. Yes.
So, but if I am not having conversation from with them from January to March, I won't be able. They won't be knowing me, and they won't trust me when they're ready to make a change because I spoke to them. I'm top of the mind. They will call me and say, "Hey Sam, hey, I'm looking for a change. This is what I'm looking for." Right. So that becomes a paramount for me when I'm looking for change. Right. So those things were there long before AI, but now AI
Yeah. Yes.
help and accelerate it. Right. So that's and how do you use that tool to accelerate is what you look for.
True. 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 So, Sam, when it comes to the AI, and since you might be using it, okay, but for an example, if you had an AI assistant, let's say, what would be the one part or one hiring process which you would let your AI assistant handle?
Talking to the candidates and finding out what they're looking for. Um,
Hmm. Not actually, I mean, reviewing
building the
them, but
relationship with that
looking
candidate.
relationship.
Building the relationship.
Okay.
I always tell
And
my recruiters have a 5-10 minute conversation with the candidate. He may not be good for that particular job that you're recruiting for, and don't
mhm,
become job centric when you're calling a candidate. Become career counselor to that candidate, so he or she will call you when he or she is ready to move in the market, rather than
that's a great thing.
yeah, rather than you doing what you do and then you're not able to do. That a lot of mundane tasks will be outsourced to AI, right? It's not
Um, I think this is the right. I mean, the thing that you have mentioned, like don't become a recruiter, become a career counselor kind of thing, because you may never know that person or the person you're talking with might not be the right fit for this job role, but he can be right fit for some other job role,
correct.
which you might be having.
Yeah,
So true, so true. So let's have a rapid fire round, Sam. Down.
sure.
Okay, settle a little debate. You know, a lot of people in the market are saying this job is going to get eaten by AI, or this job is going to get eaten by AI, kind of thing. So I'll just name some of the job roles or some part of the job. Okay, let me know if you think AI can effectively, screen for this role, or like if yes, or like what challenges might arise that AI can actually, you know, uh, do this job, but essentially effectively rather than the human. If
Go
you
ahead,
can
go
tell.
ahead, go ahead. Fire.
Okay.
Before I answer any of those questions, I'll preface it by saying that most of the jobs AI will affect. Most of the jobs
Okay.
currently that we are doing will affect. Like I said, it will be if you're doing 10 or 15 tasks, it will be the 3 to 5 to 9, 10 tasks that it can be automated. In some jobs, it can be 10 to 12 tasks that you're doing, but there will be that still the 3 to 4 tasks that human being needs to do, and you need to be better at it. In
Right.
some jobs, it could be three, some jobs, it could be 12, right? But every job is going to get affected by AI, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, true. So, but when it comes to screening, effectively screening with the help of AI, do the jobs will be like same thing? I mean, let's see how it goes. So
Sure.
let first job which I will give you is graphic designers.
In my opinion, since you're in the marketing side, do you think it will go away? I think it will go
No,
away to 60 to 75%. With the help of the tools, they can do much better job and much better graphic designing than what and the time of generating something is going to be so much more shortened, right? In if it text to video, video to text, all those things that you are doing and how to generate graphic design. Yeah, but if you're an artistic person and how you take that tool to help you and how to make it better and this one, you will still have a job. And
true.
yeah,
That the last point which you have mentioned, that's what where I was going to come from, since I said no, because graphic designer, definitely if you're just doing the design for the sake of designing, your job might be eaten. But if you are someone who is really artistic and who is enthusiast into designing, then definitely then there is work out there for you, even with the AI, because your mind is different, right? Let's come into the managerial roles. When it comes to managerial roles such as CEO,
Managerial roles such as team lead.
CEO, not team lead, but the higher managers, like the company, the one where organization, the one who do all the organization things, CEO, Chief Executive Officer.
It won't go away for another 5 to 10 years, but eventually, like
Okay.
I said, AI is going to become an organization in it itself at that point. But the role of a CEO, the way that a CEO needs to operate is changing
Mhm.
drastically.
Yes, it
And,
is.
and they have to adapt to the tools and technologies and how to, the toughest task, how to motivate your company, how to get your vision and mission across to your employees so that they get excited, how to build that great culture, right?
Culture,
And
yes.
all those things are going to change. HR and the HR roles are going to change, and culture and some of those things are going to play a bigger part in why a company grows and how a CEO can excite his population is going to be different. It cannot be
Different.
you're sitting in a glass and you're sitting in the boardroom meeting and stuff. It becomes a lot more interactive and a lot more this one. So your role is changing, and a lot of the data is available for a lot of people. So how to make data-driven decisions and how you can.
Yes.
So some of those enhancements for the CEOs are going to happen. The role
Happen.
is
True.
definitely changing.
Changing. True. So true. So, see, since we have talked about CEO, CPO, Chief People Officer or Chief Human Resource Officer, do you think, I mean, that's something which can be taken away?
I don't see. There might be some jobs which will be eliminated, which are the mundane
Right.
routine tasks. But a lot of
Yes.
these tasks, jobs, it may not be the way that you know how it is currently constituted. It will change how it is constituted down the line, right? It could look different. The skill sets that are required for you to execute that role could be different, or or
Yes.
or, or some of those other new nuances needed to be added for you to be successful in that role. But other than that, I don't think it will eliminate any of these other jobs.
Mm. And okay, so you might be hiring in day in, day out about the technical jobs in the market, such as software engineer or DevOps or any other technical thing. What do you think about that job? How much AI has affected it, and in fact, in your screening as well, when you use AI for the screening of technical people, how much that has been affected the technical jobs?
Like I said, the technical jobs, maybe if there are 10 jobs available today, maybe five will be available, but the rest
Okay.
five could have changed into some new roles that will be created, new
Okay.
positions that will be created, right? In
Mm-hmm.
fact, in testing, right? People, uh, manual testers and automation testers will be eliminated, but they have to still test the AI. So somebody who's good with AI and AI testing, they will have a better role, right? So you have to adapt to some of those. Some roles will be eliminated, and some new roles will be created, which is part of any revolution, right? So this is the AI revolution that is happening. If you look at a lot of the manufacturing jobs became eliminated and became went to China,
Eliminated.
and they became a big booming economy and stuff like that. But now a lot of those jobs are being brought back, and it's different shape and form that somebody's executing it.
True, true, true. No, so true. So, Sam, since we have it was a very nice discussion with you, and we have came to the end of our podcast. Okay. In one sentence, how would you describe the perfect balance between AI and human decision making in recruitment?
First of all, I am not a one line or one word person. I, to give some context to it, as we embrace AI and recruitment, the most important thing that we should remember is that technology should serve people, as I mentioned before, right? not replace them.
Yes.
AI can make our
Yes.
processes smarter,
Mm-hmm.
faster, even fairer in some instance. But it is that human connection that builds the trust, inspires loyalty, and drives long term success. And whatever AI tool you have or don't have, at the end of the day, you as a human being, you are playing a major role in trying to build that trust, loyalty, and long term success for the organization and for yourself. Right. So we have to find a balance between technology and expert human judgment, right? That can lead to better hiring outcomes for both candidates and employers, not just candidates, in my opinion, right? As leaders, it is our responsibility to ensure AI is used ethically,
Yes.
transparently, and inclusively, right? And that is something
Agreed.
that people miss, right? We all run after that shining object. The future of recruitment isn't AI versus humans. It is AI and humans working together, creating an experience that is not just efficient but meaningful. Some of the things that you brought about, asking the biases, not hiring women, I think this can help to be efficient but also meaningful. And
Meaningful.
since we are coming to the end of this conversation, I appreciate the time that you have given me, and to have this conversation. And if anybody wants to reach me, they can reach me at sam@amzo.com, sam@etechie.com, or they can look me up on my LinkedIn profile under Sam Velu. Um, and
Thank
thank
you
you and
so much,
appreciate
Sam.
your time. And
Our pleasure. Pleasure is all mine, Sam. It was very nice having with you, speaking with you, and discussing this at length. This will help a lot of people. Definitely, once our episode is out there, this will help a lot of job seekers, even the person who is into the recruitment, and they are looking for someone who they look up to, or for like kind of mentorship, or thinking a different way, thinking something similar as you. Will definitely have something to look at.
yeah, I'll end by saying this. Everybody is in a very weird space at this point, right?
Space. Yes.
Individuals, organizations, companies, anything that you talk, they are not sure about. And I can help
What is
some of
going?
the organization to get there by having some meaningful conversation and discussing some of the because everybody see, I don't want people to look at tools. Tools will come and go, right? The
True.
processes that you use to use those tools and what you're going to do with some of those tools and how you build your people is how organization can be successful.
Successful. So true. So true. Definitely. So all who are listening, Sam has already mentioned his details, but I will be also sharing a few of them, his LinkedIn and his email ID. All of you who want to reach out to him, please reach out to him. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sam.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Appreciate it.
joining us.
Have a great day.
Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening us. Please like, share, and subscribe so that we can keep making content. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. All of the Sam details, like his LinkedIn and email, are mentioned in the description below. You can reach out to him. Please reach out to him if you're looking for a mentor, if you're a job seeker, you're looking for some kind of help, feel free to reach out to him. And thank you so much for joining us today on our channel. Tech is our passion, PIOP. Until the next one, stay curious and stay informed. Thank you so much.